Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a source that honestly feels like it was ripped straight out of a Hollywood movie script, but I promise you it is entirely real. We're looking at a first-hand account of a teenage millionaire's week during the Cannes Film Festival over in the south of France. It's this absolute whirlwind of unbelievable extravagance, crazy high-stakes networking, and digital wealth generation that kind of completely redefines what a business trip looks like in the 21st century.
$600,000. Let that sink in for a second. That's not a yearly salary for a top executive. It's not the price of a decent house in the suburbs. That is the amount of money spent in a single, solitary week. It's a staggering number, right? And it immediately forces us to completely recalibrate our entire understanding of wealth.
Okay, so let's dive right into this, because the very first question that jumps to mind is just, how? How does a teenager even navigate a world where dropping over $500,000 in 7 days is possible? And maybe more importantly, how on earth do they justify it as an investment? Well, this whole explainer is going to decode exactly how this modern wealth generation machine actually works.
Section 1. Welcome to the French Riviera, basically the LA of France.
To really wrap our heads around this kind of spending, we first have to understand the environment itself. Welcome to Cannes during the legendary film festival. It's this ultimate magnet for global A-listers. We're talking Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie, Jay-Z, Leonardo DiCaprio. They all converge on this tiny, energetic town every single summer. But the sheer scale of wealth here, it totally dwarfs what we usually think of as luxury. The source points out that, in a place like Miami, a 90-foot chartered yacht is a massive flex. But in Cannes, those boats are parked right next to mega yachts described as literally Jeff Bezos sizes, vessels worth hundreds of millions, sometimes billions of dollars. It's an environment that makes standard multimillionaires feel like small fish in a very, very deep pond.
To put that into perspective, let's look at the sheer economics of exclusivity documented here. The creator didn't just casually attend parties, they threw a $500,000 event at a historic castle. You want to attend an exclusive side event? Okay, that'll be $6,000 just to get in the door. Thinking of parking your yacht in the Monaco harbor during Formula One? Get ready to drop $150,000 per day, just for parking. These wild financial figures really ground us in a reality where access is the ultimate and absolutely the most expensive commodity.
Moving into Section 2, the ultimate VIP networking strategy, or creating the filter.
You see, this isn't just a flashy vacation to get cool pictures for social media. No, it is a highly calculated, high-stakes strategy for building an elite inner circle. Every single dollar spent is a tool to access rooms that are completely walled off from the general public. The creator repeatedly uses this specific slang term, motion. In this world, motion refers to the crazy abundance of money, energy, and opportunity vibrating through Cannes. The source describes this environment perfectly as a filter. It's a place that forces you to either level up so you can keep pace with everyone around you, or it just filters you right out because you can't sustain the momentum. And sustaining that momentum means living on a timeline that honestly defies normal human limits. When you break down the actual schedule, it's wild. Waking up at 2 p.m. to a sushi platter, getting into a tuxedo for a red carpet by 5 p.m., hitting up castle and yacht parties all night, only to finally jump on a 6 a.m. flight to Amsterdam on like 2 hours of sleep. It brilliantly highlights this always-on, completely chaotic, sleep-deprived reality of chasing opportunities at this level. You literally cannot afford to sleep when the networking is this valuable.
Yet, amidst all this high society elegance, there's this absolutely hilarious clash with Gen Z internet culture. Right before hosting this massive VIP event at the Chateau St. George, which is this historic castle where people like George Clooney and Brad Pitt have stayed, the creator and his friends go on a quick side quest to a local store, and they just drop $150 on rainbow piñatas and random party supplies to decorate this centuries-old French chateau. It's such a perfect visual of internet-era youth colliding head-on with ultra-luxurious old-world Europe.
Section 3. Crypto, Connections, and Clout. Let's look at who's who behind the scenes. So who exactly is hanging out at these parties? If you're paying $6,000 a ticket or throwing $500,000 bashes, you're obviously not just networking with local business owners. You're networking with the apex predators of the global economy. The source material lists an incredibly diverse, heavyweight roster. We're talking tech billionaires, enterprise-level film executives who rent mega yachts for months at a time, major players in crypto like Tether executives, and folks with deep ties to Binance and Tron. We even see high-profile political and business figures, including members of the Trump family and former administration officials. Looking at this completely impartially, regardless of your industry or your politics, these are simply the rooms where massive, market-moving connections are forged.
The creator actually hit the nail on the head here, saying you get to meet all these billionaires and the people who actually move markets behind the scenes. The party itself, the piñatas, the red carpets, all of that is just the staging ground. The real return on a $600,000 investment is proximity, being in the same room as the people who dictate the flow of global capital. And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer scale of wealth casually sitting in the background of these events. I mean, just curated for the party is a $10 million art collection and a $5 million collection of high-fashion dresses. The entire environmental design is engineered specifically to signal to these market makers that the hosts absolutely belong in their ecosystem.
Section 4. Making money in Monaco. Literally printing wealth on the beach.
Okay, let's move to the climax of the trip, where the line between high-end leisure and high-speed business just completely disintegrates. The crew takes a quick side quest from Cannes over to Monaco, and it perfectly captures this new era of digital wealth. It is breathtakingly fast-paced. First, a 10-minute helicopter ride down the coastline. They land, head to Nikki Beach for $50 entrees with this unbeatable view of the super yachts, stroll into the legendary Monte Carlo casino for a high-stakes run, and then secure a free helicopter ride back to Cannes entirely comped by their casino play. It is luxury delivered at lightning speed.
But what's really fascinating is what goes down during that beach club lunch. Picture this. While sitting at Nikki Beach, looking out at the mountains, the creator gets a call from his network and executes a crypto trade on a meme coin called Pigeon, and he does it entirely from his smartphone. They enter at a $20,000 market cap, and the thing peaks at $800,000. Right in the middle of this extravagant vacation, insane digital wealth is being generated in real time just on a cellular connection.
And what's wild is how fast that digital and casino wealth translates into real-world purchasing power. Actually, amidst all the chaotic flexing and crypto jargon, there's this surprisingly wholesome moment. After a successful run at the Monte Carlo casino, the very first thing the creator does is take his cash winnings and buy his mom a diamond Tiffany ring for Mother's Day. It's just this sharp, real-world reminder of the immediate, tangible spending power that comes with this lifestyle.
Section 5. New Wealth versus Old Money. The Tale of Two Castles.
This brings us to a super interesting thematic crossroads in our explainer. Standing there in Monaco, the creator observes this stark contrast between two very different paradigms of wealth, which really defines the whole vibe of the trip. On one hand, you have the ultimate symbol of old money, the Prince of Monaco's ancestral castle sitting high up on the hill. That's wealth that is inherited, tied to centuries of history, bloodlines, and physical geography. On the other hand, you have the new money paradigm, Gen Z traders making explosive sums of cash on Pigeon coin from a beach chair using a smartphone. It's rapid, it's decentralized, and it's entirely self-generated.
Looking up at the prince's castle, the creator notes, "Always remember there's levels to the game, but it's not the same if you're being given this amount of wealth or if you earned it yourself." You can hear this deep entrepreneurial pride there. This new wave of millionaires respects the old money, sure, but they take immense pride in having built their own motion rather than just being born into it.
And because they are builders at heart, they honestly never stop looking for the next angle. Looking at the yachts prepping for the Formula One race, they don't just admire the view, they instantly start strategizing. They see that harbor parking costs $150,000 a day, and they literally start speaking of future massive business venture into existence, dreaming up their own future F1 event just to capture that incredible cash flow. The entire trip is basically a launchpad for even bigger ideas.
Which leaves us with this final, really striking thought. We've just deconstructed a world where millions can be made trading digital assets from a smartphone while lounging on the French Riviera. So, in this new hyper-connected reality, is the traditional boardroom obsolete? Has the global epicenter of networking simply packed up, moved away from office buildings and relocated onto mega yachts and historic castles? The source material makes a pretty compelling case that to play the biggest games, you absolutely still have to show up in person. You just have to be willing to pay this $600,000 entry fee. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time as we decode another fascinating source.